What up, stock dads? Welcome to another episode. My name's Penny Slayer. I'm your one and only host for the show today. And I gotta say, I'm feeling in the zone right now. There's a lot to talk about, a lot of stuff to get into. First and foremost, we've got wheat stocks that are just on the radar. Everybody wants to know about it. And then, of course, we've got Elon Musk and the Twitter drama driving us to the upside for the Twitter investors. We're going to see what's going to happen in a few weeks or the coming months into this deal. But I'm going to lay down some law, lay down some information that you guys need to know getting into next week. But listen, stock dads, we're ready to get blunt about pot stocks. So, a little bit of dad joke humor there for you guys. But, listen, I just want to make sure that you guys are prepared and not surprised by the moves that are going to be happening in this Mary Jane sector, if you will, right? So the performance of cannabis stocks has frustrated many investors in recent years. As the sector continues to boom, in the real world, the financial assets that are associated with this market, if you will, haven't really performed accordingly. The ratio chart seems to be a little bit off from the SPY, right? And so the way that we sort of look at this move is if Mary Jane stocks is underperforming the broader market, going down more than SPY, which really means going down more than SPY when both are in the decline, and rallying less than SPY when both rally. However, it looks like a low is coming on for the Mary Jane stocks, if you will. And it's an interesting if you are a buy the bottom kind of guy, right? But it's going to be a wait and see game here, right? There's a lot of news happening. In theory, President Biden's pardon for simple possession of marijuana doesn't add much to the profits of marijuana companies. However, from a collective perspective and its psychological effects, cannabis companies have had to overcome various funding hurdles in recent years, but removing it from the drug list, that could give the industry some new approach to banking, to centralized banking. So currently at the moment, these guys are putting cash into banks or cash into safes, little twist knob safes, if you will. I mean, this is an all cash business and it's very risky. And so once you start to get towards the legalization or the decriminalization of these stocks and of this industry, you're going to allow yourself some more opportunities for safety in the sector. So there's some of the things that we're keeping our eye on, but it still has a long way to go. I think that if you're looking at cannabis stocks, I'm still bearish on the sector as a whole, just because when the SPY starts to recover and the marijuana stocks don't recover with it, they're still underperforming the recovery, then it's something that I'm like, okay, maybe the end isn't really quite here yet. So U.S. president, obviously, he lifted these guys out of prison. I think it was 1,000 plus, and it was a big news event. And so I couldn't imagine everybody that was locked up for simple possession was just told, "Hey, you're free to go," right? And it was a big day for a lot of people, I'm sure. But the stocks are due for a big multi-day and perhaps even a multi-week bounce if good news comes. But given the product commoditization and lack of profitability in the market, I just don't believe that the coming bounce in the cannabis stock sector is going to be sustainable. So, it's just something I'm keeping my eyes out on. And in other news, we've got Twitter just blowing up, right? And it's really the main factor here is Elon Musk has gone back to his $54 price target for this company, and the shares are going nuts. And as the social media sector prepares for its largest disruption to date, if you will, investors should be considering the best stocks to buy to stay ahead of the coming turbulence. And I'm going to get into these stocks a little bit later, but get your pen and paper ready. These are things that I wanted you to keep your eye on. Because remember, Elon Musk is getting into the Twitter game. And if that becomes a reality, we all are wondering what this is going to mean for Trump's DWAC, which is a SPAC revolves around his social media platform. But we'll get into that a little bit later. Um, following Musk's announcement, certainly indicates financial markets are taking his offer pretty seriously at the moment. Although he is currently dealing with a debt finance obstacle, it seems like they are probably going to close the deal. You just have to be ear to the street here. Pay attention to Stock Dads. Pay attention to us in the Discord. We're all talking about it. It's something that we're keeping our ears to the street on. I see a lot of people posting links to news benefits, if you will. It's sort of like, we're all keeping our ear to the street on this one. So come join us, pay attention with us. Now, if Musk carries out his vision of making Twitter the platform for free speech around the world, it will likely be the final nail in the coffin for Digital World Acquisition Corp, which, the ticker symbol DWAC, DWAC, which if you're trading in the stock market world these days, DWAC has been on your radar for a very long time. The blank check partner that Trump Media and Technology Group has taken over, it seems to fall even more if Musk's new Twitter deal is lured back to reality. So we're going to keep our eye on the DWAC SPAC, if you will. And, we don't know where it's going to go after the deal, but more than likely, DWAC will see a major decline if this Twitter deal does continue to go forward. So stocks that I'm watching, if this deal goes through, I told you there was a few that I'm watching. Black Rifle Coffee Company, which is currently trading at $6.60. Ticker symbol BRCC. Rumble, which is also another streaming platform like YouTube. They are ticker symbol RUM. And they are currently trading at 1182. Grom Social Enterprises. Now, this is a OTC. This is an OTC market, very small market cap penny stock, if you will. This ticker symbol is GROM, and they are currently trading at 35 cents. Obviously, Pinterest is also something I'll be keeping my eyes on, as ticker symbol PINS, currently trading at $24.67. And then Funware, the final one, PHUN, trading at $1.15. Funware was just one of those stock Trump tickers that tended to get a lot of social media recognition whenever Trump was in office. So these are some of the stocks to keep your eye on. I know there's probably a few more, but these are just some that I'm keeping my eye on going forward. According to a lot of the news that's coming here in the upcoming week, I'm pretty sure it's something that we should all talk about. Monday is pretty much a dead zone. There's no major economic data coming in on Monday. So trade willingly, right? I mean, usually people, when they're trading the stock markets nowadays, they have to pay attention to, your FOMC meetings and your CPI data meetings. And, you just have to be aware of this information coming through on the stock market. Tuesday, the New York Fed's 5-year inflation expectations kind of ramp up. It's something to keep your eye on, but not major news. Your major news day comes in on Wednesday, which is your FOMC minutes. And all eyes are on the Fed as employment data remains strong, giving them cause to keep tightening for now. And we just know that, probably another 75 basis points is coming to the market. We just have to, again, keep our ears to the street, pay attention to everybody making moves in the Feds. And of course, Stock Dads will always be on the news on time, every time. Some of the earnings on Tuesday also that's pretty interesting. PepsiCo, which has made a pretty interesting move recently, making an acquisition. Keeping our ear to the street on PepsiCo. They may have some good earnings. We're thinking to the upside here on PepsiCo. Thursday, we've got core CPI data, which is month over month and year over year. Expectations are positive inflation numbers across both time frames. So, be prepared for more tightening from the government. Initial jobs claims also is on Thursday. Continuous jobless claims also coming in. You got a pretty big earnings day on Thursday. And so as we get into earnings season, which is probably just a week around the corner for big tech, we've got Delta Airlines, BlackRock, Commercial Metals, which is CMC, Fastenal, Progressive, TSM, Taiwan Semiconductors. Now, in these past recent weeks, we've been very bearish on the semiconductor sector as a whole. A lot of these haven't really gone my way in my trades. Thank you to NVIDIA and its strong $126 price point. It seems to be this level that I just can't short. So recently, AMD had some news that was able to bring down the sector a little bit. I assume that TSM is going to also help us out here. So we'll be watching that. Walgreens also is on the earnings radar as well. Retail sales, which is actually a pretty important thing coming in on Friday. You'll be watching retail sales there. And then business inventories. So this is a key major retail. This is key for major retailers, as it seems that inventories are starting to pile up. And you can even see this into Nike's earnings, where they're like, hey, we've got a lot of shoes on hand here, which is probably going to give them the opportunity to open up the sale rack and sell you guys a bunch of shoes at a very cheap price, but also shortens in the margin, if you will. So paying attention to these things are very key in the market, and understanding what these words and these reports actually mean are even greater. So we'll be taking a look at that. And I think that it's very important to know what the inventories are going to be in this business inventories on Friday. So if you can find it, go get it. If you can't find it, join the Discord. We'll be here waiting for you. We'll let you know. Also, earnings for that day on Friday are going to be a lot of banks. So we got JP Morgan Chase, Citigroup, Morgan Stanley, United Health, Wells Fargo. Big bank day for Friday. I don't know. Are you guys bullish or bearish? Maybe we should get a poll in the Discord. I'm not really sure, if I'm liking the way that the bank systems are falling in this inflationary period. If people aren't buying homes, what are the banks doing? How are they going to be making money if they can't give out loans? If no one's applying for loans and buying homes, where's banks going to get their money from? No one's buying bonds. So it's going to be pretty interesting for banks. I bet you their guidance is going to be short, and that's going to be some shorting opportunity for you in the bank sector, if you will. Actually, man, now that I say it more and more, I'm getting into a groove of I may be getting into some short position in the bank stocks. May have to go and check a look at the charts here in the Discord, but meet us there. We're going to have a great time. Live trading in there with Fuzz and me. I hop in there every once in a while, so you guys can ask me questions too about maybe some of these meetings that transpire, if you will. The sector industry has gotten pretty big on energy the past few weeks. The energy sector has been getting into the leading sectors for the past several weeks now, and it's interesting to see those kind of play out. But XLE is a way. So the ticker symbol XLE is a way to watch the energy sector, and it's starting to pull away from the pack, suggesting that perhaps the inflation trade has more gas left in the tank. So we're watching utilities. A lot of utility stocks are to the upside because of the things that are happening in Ukraine. I know that there's been a lot of geopolitical news happening in the industry, as far as like Palantir even making some type of Nostradamus type esque thing where he's like, hey, listen, we're getting closer to nuclear war. Elon Musk twittered it. Is that a twittered? Is twittered a word? Am I too old to say twittered? He tweeted. That's what it is. He tweeted that he tweeted that we're getting close to nuclear war, and that's scary for us, right? What does that really mean for the economy? And the other day I was watching this YouTube video about what happens if Russia does start to use nuclear weapons. Like, what happens to mankind? Like what happens to, the population? It's actually a pretty cool video. I'll post a link to it in the Discord. You guys can go and take a look at it. But it's sort of like this cartoon-esque type. Well, if Russia does this, then we do this, and things kind of align in a timeline, and it's actually pretty interesting to see what happens there. But I gotta say, more along the lines of I don't think that's going to happen. I think before that happens, we find a way to either resolve the tension in Ukraine and Russia, or we find out, who wears the bigger pants. And I got to tell you guys, there's going to be a lot of stuff happening in the news in regards to that. I personally work for a government defense company, and they're called Textron. That's ticker symbol TXT. We're currently waiting on an Army project that is the FLRAA project. That's FLRAA, and it's $100 billion project in order to replace a very outdated flight system, if you will. And we have built the V280, and we're looking to land this deal, which could, over a period of time, be more than $100 billion. Right. And so we know that the Army is starting to invest in heavy militarized vehicles, and you can get a whiff in the air that it won't be long before America probably starts to get involved with what's happening in Ukraine. But before then, utilities are going to be a very interesting strong point of America coming in the next few months. I think that there are a lot of companies that are starting to take notice that there is a lot of market cap to be gained from Russia's insecurities, if you will, in the utility sector. So when it comes to natural gas and the pipelines and things of this nature, U.S. is the leader of not only the producer, but the exporter. And if we can find a way to hype up our exportation to other countries to help them in their dire needs or their dire straits, not only can we be a helping hand to our fellow countrymen, worldmen, if you will, but those companies will be aligned to take profit from these companies in Russia that can't do business with these countries anymore. So we're taking a look at this utility sector as a typical play. Obviously, my money's kind of getting heavy involved in it after the S&P 500 inducted two companies that are now trading in the S&P 500. I'll probably get there quicker if I'm on my phone. Sorry for looking at my phone during this session, but it's just one of those things. So PCG, ticker symbol PCG, the company's PG&E. They're a U.S. company that's geared around the utility sector. And then also another one that I'm very strong on is EQT, which recently was at like $38, way oversold for this company. Now trading around the $40 area, but has a lot more to go. And I love the way the CEO talks whenever he gets an opportunity on CNBC. Go ahead and take a look at EQT. Their company, I think, they're gearing up to make some very big moves in the sector. And with that being said, folks, thank you guys for tuning in. Hope to see you all guys in the Discord. Love to see you guys there. We're day trading live every day. Fuzz is there every day. Mr. Consistency is also a really good guy. He's another gentleman you'll see here on the YouTube channels with our shorts, doing very good work, a very good financial planner. Next week, we'll talk a little bit more about the big bill that's currently in the markets to help you with your 401ks. So there's been some news being moved around this bill that's giving you the opportunity to get more granular in your 401ks, which means you can now start buying smaller indices and even venture capitalism through your 401k, which inherently will give you a little bit more risk, but on the other side, give you the opportunity to sort of broaden your horizons with your investment. And I think that that's what's key whenever I pay attention to, something like that that's happening. I don't want to be tied down to a 401k that gives me something that, hey, do you plan to retire in 55? Like, yeah, of course I do. So, get involved with these stocks that have an incremental 3% every year. Well, 3% is not enough because the S&P 500 gives me 13, right? Why don't I just take all my money out of these bullshit stocks that you give me and dump everything I have into an S&P 500 and then live my life that way? Why not? Now you'll be able to have that ability, which I think is interesting. So with that being said, guys, I'll go ahead and end the broadcast. Thank you all for joining in. Stay tuned for more stuff coming in. We've got a lot of big news coming for our Discord and for our members. Hopefully here pretty soon. We'll talk to you all in the Discord. Have a good night. Stock Dad's out of here, baby. See ya. Oh, hit that like button and subscribe. Christ sakes. Just subscribe to it. It's going to help out us and it's going to help out the channel. Hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. It's easy. Click, click, right? Takes a move of a finger. Click, click.